He was across the ballroom, half turned away, speaking to someone she did not recognize. He had always been imposing, tall and broad-shouldered, with the kind of build that came from real strength, not vanity. But time had changed him. His dark hair was cut shorter than he used to wear it, making the strong lines of his face more pronounced. The warmth that used to live there, easy smiles, the openness that had made him so beloved, was gone. What remained was colder. He looked like a king who had forgotten how to be anything else. And then he turned, and their gazes locked across the ballroom. For a moment, barely a second, his expression did something uncontrolled. His eyes went wide, stunned, and what showed through was raw and unguarded and hurt. Octavia's wolf instinct, immediate and traitorous, screamed at her to go to him. She stood perfectly still and waited for it to pass. It did not pass. She had built this entire plan around the image of his face when he saw her. She had imagined rage, humiliation. She had not imagined this. He looked devastated. Then his expression closed. He walked toward her, each step measured, assured, the crowd parting before him without him having to ask. He had always commanded a room, but before his presence had been warm, magnetic. This was not that. This was authority without warmth. Confidence without invitation. He stopped in front of her. Octavia. His voice was exactly as she remembered. Fancy meeting you here? Like she was a mildly interesting coincidence. Like 7 years was nothing and she was nothing in them, she curtsied. Your Majesty. It can't be a total surprise seeing as you did invite me. Surprise flickered across his face. I did. The invitation was quite clear. Ah, yes. He nodded. All noble families received invitations. Standard protocol. A pause, then that cold smile. I didn't expect you to actually attend. The words landed like a slap. He had not thought of her, had not considered her at all. The invitation had not been personal. It had been protocol. Well, Octavia said, her voice perfectly cool. It would have been rude not to come. Congratulations on your engagement. Thank you. He tilted his head slightly. That's quite a dress. Red always did suit you. His voice shifted almost casual. You wore red that night at the summer estate. Do you remember the summer estate? Their engagement night. He had proposed to her in the gardens at sunset, dropping to one knee in front of the rose arbor, hands shaking, eyes bright. Her throat went tight. I remember. We had that terrible wine, he said. You made me drink the whole bottle anyway, she grimaced. Not the engagement. The wine. How sentimental of you to recall. She turned slightly. Your Majesty, may I introduce Duke Flemings, my escort for the evening? Fleming stepped forward and bowed. Lionel acknowledged him with a nod that was just barely polite. How nice, Lionel said, his attention sliding back to Octavia. And how long have you two known each other? Octavia replied smoothly. Oh, quite some time, haven't we, darling? Flemings did not flinch at the end. Quite some time indeed. Lionel's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, Lionel, darling. Octavia remembered Countess Emiline Doves. Of course she did. She had always been beautiful, had always been there, hovering at the edges of court functions, and she had always been in love with Lionel. Even back then, Octavia had seen it. Emiline. Lionel's voice gentled slightly. I was just greeting an old friend. So, I see. Emiline's smile was warm. Lady Octavia, what a surprise. How wonderful to see you again. She turned toward the king, her hand sliding from his arm to his shoulder. Darling, we really should make the rounds. My brother is keeping the council members busy. Lionel nodded. But of course. But his eyes were still on Octavia. We wouldn't want to leave poor Ivor hanging. Emiline's eyes tracked across his face, his jaw, his mouth. She had wanted him for years, and now she had him. Well, Fleming said quietly once they had gone. That was awful. Octavia nodded. I was going to say tense. but awful works. He paused. I think we should go. Where are the twins? They were just... Flemings turned, scanning the crowd. Right behind us. Octavia turned and found them. Nyla was being pulled by the hand, trying to slow Cora down as she moved through the crowd with singular focus. Octavia's stomach dropped when she realized where they were heading. To whom? Ka! She called. Wait! But Cora was not waiting. She was already there, reaching up to tug on Lionel's sleeve, on the sleeve of the Alpha King, and looking up at him. Excuse me, she said, her voice carrying in the sudden silence. But you're our daddy, aren't you? Octavia stopped breathing. People stopped talking and the world just stopped. Lionel stared at the children. The children stared back. Octavia's mind was spinning. She had been so consumed by her own need for revenge, so focused on showing him what he had lost, that she had brought her children into this ballroom without once considering what they might do. She moved quickly, forcing a light laugh that sounded hollow even to her own ears. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. You know how children are. Cora has always wanted to be a princess. She's decided every king must be her daddy. The lie was thin. Transparently thin. Come along, both of you, she tugged gently, trying to guide them away. Nyla glanced at Lionel one more time, then obeyed, letting himself be turned toward the door. Cora did not move. Kay, Octavia snapped. I've asked you a question. Cora stomped her foot, pulling away from Octavia's hand. Are you our daddy or not? Octavia's stomach dropped. Several people nearby had stopped pretending not to listen. The whispers were starting. Lionel's gaze lifted from Cora and locked onto Octavia. His face was pale, and underneath the shock, understanding was beginning to dawn. He looked back down at the children. You should listen to your mother, he said. Relief flooded through Octavia so fast her knees went weak. Cora's face fell, but she did not argue. Nyla was already tugging her hand, and this time she let herself be pulled away. Octavia turned quickly, gathering her skirts and her trembling hands, and walked toward the exit with both children in tow. The walk back to their suite felt endless. Nyla walked quietly beside her, his small hand clutching her skirt. Cora would not stop talking. But why didn't he answer? She demanded for the third time. Octavia wanted to be angry with them, wanted to snap that they had disobeyed her, but she could not. Because this was her fault. All of it. She had brought them to that ball knowing Lionel would be there, knowing they looked like him, knowing Cora was fearless and relentless and tired of secrets. Mama? Nyla's voice was small. Did we do something wrong? The question broke her heart. No, sweetheart, you didn't do anything wrong. Soon she kissed them both goodnight. Nyla's forehead, Cora's temple, even though Cora did not turn around, and closed the bedroom door softly behind her. What had she done? The question circled through her mind, relentless and unanswerable. A knock at the door shattered the silence. The servant stood there, young, nervous. Lady Octavia, His Majesty requests your presence in his study. The bottom dropped out of her stomach. What did he know? What had he figured out? The children looked like him. That much was undeniable. But did he believe her flimsy excuse about Cora wanting to be a princess? The servant led her down corridors she knew too well. She used to run down this hallway to meet Lionel. Used to slip into his study uninvited just to steal a kiss. Now every step felt wrong. The servant stopped outside the familiar door and knocked once. Enter. Lionel's voice, deep and commanding and achingly familiar. She took a breath, lifted her chin, and walked inside. Lionel stood by the window, his back to her. His shoulders were tense. The air between them was thick with 7 years of absence and the weight of what had just happened in that ballroom. Then he turned. Octavia's breath caught. She had forgotten what it felt like to have his full attention focused on her, that particular quality that made the rest of the world fade away. "Who are those children?" Lionel asked. "Mine," she said. "And their father?" He took a step toward her. "Where is he?" "He's not in their lives." The silence that fell was different now, heavier. Then Lionel took another step, and another until he was standing close enough that she could smell him. Her wolf stirred. She ignored it. "They're mine," he said. "My children." Octavia opened her mouth. "You were pregnant when you left me." His voice was an accusation. "Did you know?" "Yes," she said. What she wanted to say was, "Yes, I was pregnant when you cheated on me and betrayed me to get your precious heirs." But the words burned in her throat. Lionel's face went pale. His mouth opened, then closed. "And you didn't think to tell me?" She forced herself to breathe. "I wanted to leave. That's all I thought about." Lionel nodded slowly, visibly containing himself. "I want to meet them." "Who?" Octavia asked, his jaw tightened. "My children. They're mine," Octavia snapped. "I fed them and nursed them and sang to them and raised them, and I would have done all of that too if I'd known they existed." Octavia flinched. Lionel's chest was heaving, his hands shaking. She had never seen him like this. "You didn't give me the chance." "Well, you didn't think to check, did you?" She shot back. The words landed like a slap. Lionel stared at her, stunned, and she watched something shift in his expression.
If you don't want to miss how this saga unfolds, please subscribe, like, and press that bell icon so that you will get notified the moment the new chapter drops. Thank you for listening and be safe out there.